Next, we have Katherine James. She's a former New York City Board of Elections Deputy Chief Clerk of Queens County, President of the Queens County Federation of Republican Women, a board member of the Queens Village Republican Club, and she builds bridges with political colleagues across the aisle. We need someone like Katherine in D.C. to get bills passed because they can't do this. For some reason, they just can't do that anymore. But hopefully they will soon. Katherine will come up to present the Businesswoman of the Year Award to Margaret Wagner.
Thank you, John. And good afternoon, everyone. We have such a grand crowd and a supportive group of people. It is just wonderful and magnificent. And thank you so much for supporting the Queens Village Republican Club and all of our friends and family members that are here today. This morning, I started thinking about what I could tell you about Margaret that may not be in her bio. Her bio is in the journal, and it's there for you to read. I'm not going to read from the journal. But I want to welcome Margaret's family, Margaret Wagner's family. Would her family and guests please stand so we can acknowledge you with a round of applause, please? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for letting Margaret, over the many years, get involved and support the community in so many ways, including her business of real property. This morning, my phone, or maybe even, yes, early morning, past midnight, social media exploded with, I must have over 100 messages of congratulations, of deserving credits to Margaret on her award that she's receiving today from the Queens Village Club. It was really nice to read all of those plaudits. Before I start with what I have to say, I want to add something. A lot of you, including her family members, might not know that Margaret and I tried out for Hamlet as dancers. However, the producer realized she and I were from the same party, so we were dropped from the show. Anyhow, we were cut from Hamilton, but this morning we both crossed paths of social media, indicating with our first words, "I'm so excited." So Margaret and I have agreed that we're going to join her community players group out in the Rockaways and perform the tune and dance to "I'm So Excited." I think it's the Pointer Sisters program or their dance program? Yes. Okay, we have a date and we're going to rehearse and get it done. I first came upon Margaret's name when Bob Turner ran for Congress, and she began to coordinate and activate his campaign in Queens County. And my station at the Queens office of the Board of Elections caused me to monitor who's doing what for whom, and in particular, securing the Republican Party interests at the Board of Elections. So with that, I followed Margaret and what she was doing and how she was doing it. And what held in my mind was that she was quiet and sustained effectiveness in her campaign efforts for Robert Turner, Republican for Congress. Thank you. And that election, in her bio, it's mentioned that Bob's election was just a great moment in political history. And I won't forget it. I won't forget that election day. Years passed, and then came upon us the horrific Hurricane Sandy. And that too caused devastation and mayhem, and lots of our families having to move and relocate in the Rockaway, Breezy Point area. Margaret was there for families. She was there for her family and the families of many, many others. These are the people who are responding to social media. These are the people who respond to Margaret and give her kudos for everything she does now and in the past years that she's been involved. Her friends and neighbors know that she is loved, respected for her wisdom and strength. She's building her community, our community, one family at a time. She links families not only with their biggest investment of a lifetime, their homes, but she provides them with ongoing resources and information. When the Congress member from the 5th Congressional District, whose name doesn't need to be mentioned in this room today, he kept the community waiting and waiting and waiting. But who was there until the meeting was conducted but Margaret Wagner? She is tenacious, and don't get on her in the wrong column on her chart. I have only one more reflection, and then I'll shut up. Promise. I'm thinking, you know, this is supposedly Women's History Month, but to me, every day women make history. And I go back to my thoughts. When did Queens have a Republican woman in office? I think Tom Long and Diane Rudiano can tell me. That was Rosemary Gunning. Rosemary Gunning was an assembly member for 3 terms. She was born in Brooklyn, Diane, and she resided in Queens in Ridgewood. A strong, dynamic, determined woman who made things happen, as Nicole mentioned in her speeches today. And Queens has got to find a way to elect Republican women. Republican women. Republican women. Okay. So with that, I'm going to say that it's indeed a pleasure to introduce to some and to introduce a phenomenal woman by the name of Margaret Wagner, my friend, our friend.
Thank you. I'll be short, John. Catherine, thank you. That was a beautiful, beautiful speech. And they do say, watch out for the quiet ones. So it's the people that you don't hear from sometime, that are in the background, that are the workers and the pushers of the Republican Party. It's not always the people in the front, but it's who they have behind them. I was very lucky to work on Congressman Bob Turner's campaign and be part of history. And he was lucky to have his beautiful wife, Peggy, put behind him. I'd just like to mention a few people here. I probably have the youngest Republicans here today, I think. They're my children. So they listen to me. I constantly have Fox on. This was a special year with Donald Trump winning. We were very excited about that. And my children and their friends, they come over, I get them signed up. I have Trump signs all over the house. I have my Trump pin on today because we're still celebrating. And this is a year that we watched a couple of campaigns where the Republicans didn't win. We got hit with Hurricane Sandy, and we were more concerned about building our homes and getting back into our houses, and we couldn't really enjoy election night with Mitt Romney. Sad to say, for 8 years, I've been waiting for a Republican. I got on the bandwagon, the Trump train, right away with Donald Trump, as well as my family. And there's a few things that people I want to mention quickly. Social media is such a big, important element of campaigning these days, getting our point across. And the Republican Party is taking a hit all the time on social media. There are some people that won't let up, and he's here in that room today, and I read his comments all the time, and I give him congratulations because you got to stay in the game. That's Mike Shea. Our district leader, another Trump supporter from the very beginning, he wasn't afraid to hang the Donald Trump sign. Either were we. Eddie's was bigger. Eddie O'Hare had a Trump sign hanging from his porch so everyone that drove by in Broad Channel could see the Trump sign. These are the little things we have to do for our president. We have to still stand behind him for the next 4 years. I'd also like to mention the Rockaway Republican Club. And in that club, we have an immigrant who came to America, who stood behind Donald Trump from day one, was a proud supporter. He went to his inauguration, and that would be Dave DeBlack. Everyone that supported Donald Trump, we have to continue to do this. We have the presidency. Next, we need to have the mayor's race. So for the mayoral candidates that we hear tonight, we thank you for staying with us. The room is packed. We wanted to hear your speeches. I'm sorry some of them had to leave, but the ones that stayed, we enjoyed hearing from you very much. Thank you to Phil. Congratulations to the other honorees. It's very nice that we all were recognized today. And I'd like to thank the Queens Republican Club. I'm honored to receive this award, especially in the year that Donald Trump won, and that I could go down in history with Donald. Thank you to the members of the Queens Village Republican Club.